If you have any questions for Prozzie...
I'm getting so much trouble. I love Taiwan. Why did you ask me which one I like better?
Yes, hello everybody and welcome back to my life in Taiwan. We are here in the beautiful Dongxing Gongyuan, surrounded by people enjoying their Sundays, and as you can see there's a couple of beers. We're going to come to the reasons for that in a second, but first I've got a guest. I want to let him introduce himself. Please tell my team VVVIP who you are, where you come from.
Alright, hi, I'm Prozzie. I'm from Canada. A lot of you, well, not you, but a lot of other people might know me from making videos in China, but then I've come and lived in Taiwan and I'm loving it, and I make videos about my life and what life was like living here and what life is like living here. Does that make sense?
If you're looking for a more, I would say, raw, very honest opinion of life here in Taiwan, or in fact, life over the water in China, a lot of your older videos focus on China, but now obviously making a few comparisons.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely go check out Prozzie's channel. I'm going to put one of his videos up in the corner, so feel free to go check it out. Now, the plan for this video, as you probably inferred from the title, is Taiwan versus China. The plan was to sit in the park, drink a couple of beers, one Taiwanese and one Chinese.
Right.
But I think I fluffed this up because this got brewed by Taiwan Qing Beer Company.
Yeah, it's still Qingdao. It still should be Chinese. The can does look very different from what you'd find in China, but it should be.
It's a Chinese beer?
Qingdao is a Chinese beer. This one's just happened to be brewed in Taiwan.
Perfect. That can go right there.
Breakfast at Champs.
So, we're going to get straight into a couple of questions for Prozzie. I've actually only ever been to China once. I went to Guangzhou for a school trip, like a school business trip. So my kind of opinions of China are very limited to like a 4-day trip.
Yeah.
So I saw this as a perfect opportunity to invite you along to my channel, talk a little bit about the differences between China and Taiwan.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off nice and easy. A diplomatic question. What is your favorite thing to eat in Taiwan compared to what was your favorite thing to eat in China?
Yeah, the food's a little different. I mean, people here still do eat Chinese food, of course, and it's all fine and good, but one thing I notice about Taiwanese people is they're obsessed with sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches. What is it with your sandwiches?
They eat a lot of sandwiches. It's like there's sandwich shops everywhere, which is not something you typically find in China. And this is going to be a bit of a disappointing answer, but it's either sandwiches or all the Western food that you guys have here.
In China, do they have a lot of the Western restaurants, like your Fridays, Chili's?
They won't have Western chain restaurants like that because they try and keep a lot of that Western influence away.
So what about, like, have you been invited to anyone's like family home or a banquet, a Taiwanese banquet?
Yeah, this is a good segue if you're gonna ask me what my favorite food in China was.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite, I remember it. It was the favorite dish I've ever had. My favorite actual meal. It's not necessarily the thing I like to eat all the time, but just this one meal I had was unfriggin' believable. My friend in southern Guangdong province invited me to her home, and they cooked me something called wu hua rou. It's basically pork belly that's cooked in a sauce, and I remember the meat was so tender, it fell apart in my mouth, and the sauce, it was unbelievable. I ate so much of it I thought I was gonna throw up.
Okay, and let's talk about the beers. What would you drink if you were going on a night out in China?
Oh god, in China it's difficult because there's a lot of popular beers, but not all of them are very good. You also run into the problem of it being fake. Fake beer production is a huge thing in China, and it's gonna leave you quite ill if you drink too much of it. So they have a lot of Baiwei or Budweiser. Qingdao is obviously quite popular. There's snow beer, but I try to stay away from the beer because it just wasn't that good. I would drink a lot of whiskey.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or a lot of something called baijiu. Here in Taiwan, that means white wine, literally just white wine. But in I think here in Taiwan they call it gaoliang.
Oh, gaoliang, yeah. Just like a strong.
It's a very strong drink. A lot of the older folks like to drink it, so I had a lot of that in China. So that's more in the spirits, I would say.
So you came from China a year ago.
Yeah.
And you chose Taichung. Why? Why Taichung?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I had a buddy that lived here before, and I think it was more for the weather as well. Like, Taipei rains quite a bit, which is annoying. And Kaohsiung is hotter than... Can I say hell on your channel?
Yeah, hotter than hell. Oh, you can swear. I've got it.
Okay. It's super hot in Kaohsiung, and Taichung just had a really nice climate where it's not, it doesn't rain that much, it's not overly hot, it's still hot, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I like being close to the mountains for some good riding, but now that I've been more around the island, I like Taipei a lot. I just got back from Hualien.
Oh yeah,
love Hualien.
What did you like about Hualien?
It's just sitting in a gorgeous spot.
Yeah.
I mean, right in between the mountains and the ocean, it's amazing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, when I went to Hualien, that's the thing that amazes me. In fact, the only time I've seen that before is in South Africa, where they have mountain ranges and then the ocean, like completely different sort of scenery.
Yeah.
You almost feel like you're not in Taiwan when you're in Hualien. It's a completely different...
It's like Jurassic Park up in there. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, I love it down there. Talking of Hualien, talking of vacations, if in China, if you were given a few days holiday, where would you go? Would you get out of town? Is there...
It's a difficult question to answer because China is so big.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievably big. It really depends on what you want. But yeah, for me, I really like the coast.
Yeah.
The mountains up there in the Guangxi region are really nice. I think if I went back, I'd like to go see something I haven't seen. Like, I never really went to the Dongbei region.
Oh, okay.
Which would be really cool to see.
So you mentioned about the beaches being like developed. Is tourism, can you see tourism growing in China? Is it becoming more and more popular, easier to travel there?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think it was only in the early 2000s when they finally developed their highways. So now it's becoming a lot easier to get around the country. People are starting to have more money. So a lot of the tourists you'll see are actually Chinese tourists. They'll just come from a different part of China.
Yeah, similar to Taiwan. A lot of Taiwan tourism is like those Yolancer that go around the island and don't actually travel out of the country.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I'll say this about the Taiwanese though. They're way more traveled.
Yeah.
They're well-traveled people compared to the Chinese. Most Chinese people will never leave the country because it's too difficult for them to do that, whether it's economics or they won't be allowed to leave or whatever. But yeah, tourism's getting quite big.
Now, I know I'm talking to Prozzie as though he's like an expert on China, but he's been in Taiwan for a year now, so it's not like he's the China correspondent or anything.
No,
just the closest link I have. But let's talk about a little bit more real. Like, tell me what's the most difficult thing about living in China compared to the most difficult thing about living in Taiwan?
China is a challenging place to live, I'll say that. And I think it's just how it's still, and you hear this is the biggest excuse a Chinese person will give you if you point out something to do with the country. They say, well, we're still developing is the biggest thing, and they are in a lot of ways. And it just, the day-to-day life there can be quite challenging. Like it's not always clean like it is here in Taiwan. Taiwanese people are extremely clean. The recycling, managing garbage is something that every Taiwanese person seems to care about. So it's just the quality of life in China isn't as high as it is in Taiwan, and that becomes a bit tedious. It just becomes difficult to deal with on a day-to-day basis because you just get fed up with living in such a place.
And okay, the most challenging thing about living in Taiwan, what's the most difficult part?
Bloody expensive.
Compared to China, you
mean?
My
god, it's so expensive. My rent is so much higher than it ever was in China.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, like, I don't mind that it's so much more expensive because the quality of life is higher. So you're paying for that extra quality of life. But I mean, you know, even a lot of my Taiwanese friends will complain about it as well, because for them to purchase a house when they're old enough, when they get married, is incredibly difficult for the locals to do here because housing prices are so high. So expensive,
yeah. Especially when you look at, like, compared to the sort of average or minimum wage salaries, it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't know how people do it here.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit earlier about the way China limits its people's knowledge of the outside world, and one of those ways is, of course, we all know that YouTube is banned there.
Yeah, a lot of things are banned there.
Yeah, like Google especially. So tell us, I mean, I genuinely have no idea. How do you become a YouTuber in China without YouTube?
Well, yeah, you use...
Stupid question?
No, it's not. It's just you use something called a VPN,
or
a virtual private network, I think it stands for. And basically that lets you get past the firewall, and the Chinese government just sort of looks the other way. Like, China does have pretty good internet, actually. It's pretty quick. But when you throw in a VPN into the mix, it becomes so slow. And so to upload a video takes so freaking long.
Okay, so this might be a bit of a deeper, more difficult question. Do you regret having gone to China? Would you change it if you could go back to before you went?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like I spent too long there, but no, I don't think I regret it because, you know, as much as I complain and moan about China, the people there can be incredibly nice when you know them. And I met a lot of good friends there. I have a lot of close friends that live there. You know, I had my own little like family thing. You know, people that took care of each other. Because again, it is hard to live there. It's not always easy, and it's important to have people that look after you.
Okay, so we're gonna get close to wrapping this video up now. And this is going to be I'm going to put Prozzie on the spot. I'm going to say let's say you've got a younger brother. Yeah. He's just finished university. Yeah. He wants to have a gap year or two teaching in Asia. Mm-hmm. He calls you up. Hey bro, where would you recommend? China or Taiwan?
If you're a young lad and you're just fresh out of college and you want to make money, maybe you're paying off debts. Okay, I would say China's the best place for that, just because your salary is going to be higher. It's a very adventurous country. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of trouble you can get yourself into, and it's a lot of fun up there. But I think if you aren't looking for that, if you want to make a little bit of money, I mean, you can make more money here too. God, your audience is Taiwanese. I can't say that.
Go for it.
But you know, it's true. I think that for young people, China's better because it's just crazier. But I think Taiwan is also a very good choice because life is more stable here. The people are better educated, we'll say. It's just the quality of life is higher, so I think if you're not really looking for too much adventure, Taiwan's a great place to go as well.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair enough answer. All we ask for is honesty on this channel. If you have any questions for Prozzie...
I get in so much trouble. I love Taiwan. Why did you ask me which one I like better? I'll say this, just to clear my name, because he's getting me in trouble. I like Taiwan a hell of a lot more than I do China.
You
life
can
is
see
so
that,
much happier.
You can see that from his videos. Lots of videos, again, like I said, very honest, and you do like have a series, China versus Taiwan.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
We've kind of dipped our toe into the water here on this video with a couple of topics, but Prozzie will tend to have a whole video dedicated to one specific topic, whether it's like salaries or living conditions or different things. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below. So yes, feel free to share the video, and as always, I'll see you next time in My Life in Taiwan. Peace.
See ya. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Yeah,
thanks.
Do it again.
Yeah.